And then I go through this
Wow.
demo.
That's really great.
Even explain the whole
Nice.
structure
Great.
and the acknowledgements here. And that's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. We can like submit this to like
Okay, I will leave something.
yes. Yes, we got it done. I mean, I could have recorded it one more time. It's hard.
That's why I don't like videos. Do it slightly better.
Yeah.
Whatever it is,
It is.
take care of it. One thing.
Yeah.
That would definitely never work.
So the button points are here. And that is why.
I'm like the worst.
I think I'm gonna mix and then
Turbo, right?
Yep.
Where do we submit the video?
I mean, you can just play it on your laptop when you come up.
That means I can record it again.
Or you could send us a link to it. I don't know, whatever you want. Whatever's easiest for you. I don't care.
You can upload it to YouTube, right?
You can put it on YouTube. I mean, we're gonna live stream this to YouTube, so all this on Hacker Dojo. But did you submit it to dev posts?
I forgot to add. I don't know. That's how you
I think you guys need to submit it. Go to dev posts.
Is it just kind of tool to make it complete? So is it
Hackathon Weekend.
Actually, one of the laptop manufacturers reports, I forgot which one, but they report
Yeah, scroll up. There. And one of them is yeah, okay. So you have to sign up to that website and then fill out a form and since it's gonna close in like 5 minutes. Are we ready?
the upload feature will close.
Nah, it's just like a form. It's not really uploading the video. It's just like a form that asks you what your project is.
Okay. Data's product last minute.
Yeah.
He's recording.
Yeah.
The stream audio can pick up by camera.
Okay. All right, everyone. Can I have your attention, please? We are going to start the demo and presentation part of the hackathon. So if your team is participating, you're going to come up here, you're going to plug your laptop into the HDMI cable, and you're going to play your video. If you have a video, you're going to play a video on the TV. This microphone is really not sensitive, so you need to hold it up to your mouth when you talk into this microphone. It needs to be like uncomfortably close to your mouth in order for it to work. But you're gonna share us your video, and then maybe the judges will ask some questions about your project, and hopefully it'll be really fun. I can tell that everyone has worked really hard on these projects. And then the judges are going to give scores, and then maybe talk for a little bit in the other room to make sure we're all to calculate the scores, and then we're going to announce winners and hand out prizes. And after the judging, but before we announce the winners, we're gonna while we're calculating scores and things, we're gonna ask that you guys help clean up the place a little bit, because we want to be invited back to the Hacker Dojo and help keep the place clean. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what you've built. I'm expecting like 7 or 8 demos. And I've randomly selected a team to go first. So if you are the Synesthesia team, then you've been randomly selected to go first. And then after they're done, we'll tell you who's the random team next. But yeah, if you want to come on down, Synesthesia team. And so the theme of this hackathon was make the world a better place. So you're going to be graded on 5 things. One of the things is how much it aligns with that theme of making the world a better place. And we also ask that the audience try to be very quiet while people are presenting. And if you have to talk, that you go into one of the other rooms. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's probably easier to come up onto the stage from this side, since we've got all the recording equipment and computers and stuff set up over there. But yeah, hopefully you all had fun. Be sure to tell the Hacker Dojo what you liked or didn't like about the hackathon. And one of the questions I've gotten a lot this past weekend is, when are we going to do this again? And the answer is, I don't know. This was an idea that I had after I attended a different hackathon. So there was this guy, Mark, who hosted a hackathon here maybe like 11 or 12 weeks ago. Or I don't know, it was at the end of June, however long that was. But at the end of June, he hosted this really fun hackathon, and so I decided to host one too. And so I got the approval from Hacker Dojo. I asked for some co-hosts, and that's how I got my 2 co-hosts. And then I put some effort into trying to spread the word so that we could get attendees. Before we do the demos, do we just want to give a quick hello to some of our judges? So if they ask a question, do they have they have a microphone? Okay, so that they can turn on. Yeah, so we'll just have you 3 introduce yourselves really quick. So yeah.
Yeah. Hey everyone, my name is Ash. I'm a software engineer at Microsoft, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the cool demos of the project you guys made over the weekend.
Hey everyone, I am CJ. I am a marketer by trade, serial entrepreneur. I've worked with a number of companies, launched a lot of products internationally and domestically. And I'm excited to, kind of from the marketing side, see what's going on today and get some feedback and ask questions.
CJ.
Hey everyone, I'm Saloni, and I work as a software engineer at Wayfair. And I was just going around the room looking at the energy. It's super cool to see all of what you've built, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, and my name's Turbo. I'm a software engineer. I'm currently working at Apple in their instructions department. But CJ forgot to mention that he's a fantastic ping pong player. And that's super important for all of you to know. All right, so we're gonna go ahead with our first demo. So I'm gonna leave the microphone here, but it's probably better to hold on to the microphone. Yeah. And then
Hey everyone, I'm Rishi.
I'm Ansh.
Yeah, so we're in high school right now. This is probably our 4th hackathon maybe, and we're really glad to be here. So this weekend we decided to make a music visualizer for our project. Hence the name Synesthesia. Synesthesia is a condition in which one of your senses, one or more if you're lucky, but one of your senses is linked up to your auditory perception, meaning that you can see music. So we took inspiration from that, and we wanted everyone to be able to see music the same way. Some people have hearing challenges. Others just, well, have no sense of pitch, unfortunately. That includes me and him. So for all of us who are less musically gifted, we want to be able to enjoy our music in more ways than one. And so that's what this project is all about. It is about recreating the same magical musical experience for everyone, regardless of who they are, with what abilities, what capabilities, or what interests. Now, this might sound like it works incredibly right now, but it's more a proof of concept than anything. We want things to be done in AR, hopefully, and a little closer to real time than they are right now. They are pretty nice. Loading times are not bad at all. In fact, this entire short piece took only around 5-6 seconds of loading time, which is very nice for us. Now, we don't know how AR would change that, but we would love to check it out. So let's talk a little bit about the technical details of this piece.
In the meantime, you'll see a sort of playthrough of the process of loading in a sound piece into here. As currently it is not real time, we have to load in a sound piece, generate files, and then run it through Blender. We've written a Blender script that will convert the sound piece into effectively movements of particles.
So Blender is, by the way, a 3D software which allows us to use a rendering engine, a real-time rendering engine. So right now what we're doing, we've loaded in a particular piece into a library called Librosa, and then we're using just a custom-generated algorithm for the amplitude. And right now we're parsing through our data. We're parsing through our data at the moment. So if you can pause it here, please. So what we've done here, this is finding some pitch. So this is using a fast Fourier transform. What a fast Fourier transform is, you may or may not know, is it is essentially an algorithm that breaks up one single sound wave into several sound waves. And from that, we're detecting the dominant frequency. So essentially, in more non-mathematical speak, that turns into just taking music and finding notes. Every note has a harmonic series associated with it. That's several frequencies that give us the one note that we love to hear. And we're doing that through our detect pitch algorithms here. Right? So now we're getting some data. Well, it's not very helpful data at the moment, so we have to parse it, which we've done through a more... Unfortunately, that particular program takes a little longer to load, but it's worked nicely so far.
So we're effectively reading this exact data into Blender now. We've just put all of that into a file, and we're going to run the Blender program. This will take about 10 seconds. Depending on the length of the song, this is a 3-minute piece. We take 10 seconds of processing time, which is fairly decent. We could do better, but it's not terrible. This then produces our output.
Yeah, that's our output. So
This doesn't have volume.
well, there is a piece in the background. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like our volume is working. Why isn't our volume working? Well, but this is essentially what we have here. We have a shader system that uses OpenGL for shading.
Yeah, I think using laptop speakers would probably work out better. 1 second. Let us.
And we're using OpenGL for the shading here. This is just a node system that basically translates a lot of code into very little code. It's very convenient for all of us. Those particles were hand designed, but it would be easier in the future if we had a little more time to make those particle systems, which are also just mathematically controlled. That would have been nicer. But right now we just didn't have time to do that. So we basically made a demo of what it could look like with just a bit more time.
Okay. Hopefully this video should actually have audio in it. If not,
So
this would be unfortunate.
we tried our best to just use a very simple piece. Nothing much, just very clear single tones so that you can get the idea of what this does data-wise.
Okay. So this is just gonna run off laptop speakers because I don't know how.
You could put the microphone up to the laptop speaker.
So in a sense, the darker colors indicate lower pitch versus the yellow colors indicate a higher pitch.
Yes, and we have movement to signify the amplitude. So in this case, our volume stays pretty constant. But the good news is that overall, the entire thing seems to be detecting pitch very nicely. So this is a piece without too many sharp changes in pitch, because we were actually very worried initially that there would be a lot of issues relating to that. But then we later loaded in a piece that didn't sound very nice, but had a lot of quick, sharp, rapid changes in notes. And it worked very nicely, so we're very proud of making that work out.
What Rishi isn't mentioning is that he actually played this piece in the morning, but yeah. But, yeah, that's our project. Does anybody have any questions or somewhere? No? Okay.
Well, yeah, we got some
judges,
questions.
yes.
You can give them a
Oh yeah, does the audience go first or else?
let's just us ask questions.
Okay.
There's no time for audience questions.
So good presentation. I like the format from kind of the issue to the solution, what you're creating, and how it works, and simplification, et cetera. So that's good on the communication side. Who's your audience for this, for using it?
Our idea is, among other things, so we have two primary audiences. One is the community of artists and enthusiasts for music that may be hearing impaired or have hearing difficulties. Our other main audience are creators. We think that this has a lot of potential, especially if we implement it in AR, to work well with TikToks, Insta Reels, things like that for musicians to kind of make their pieces look a lot more flashy with as little editing as possible.
Yeah, good job. I thought it was very creative. A question I have is it only pitch that you can visualize, or is it possible to like visualize other thing like tone or like
He was doing volume as well.
So pitch and volume?
Yeah, pitch and volume at the moment. We have software, or we wrote software to detect tone as well. We didn't end up visualizing that, but maybe in the future we might do that.
Yeah, in a sense, our Fourier transform does recognize tones, but we try to select only the dominant frequency. So we effectively throw out all that additional information. You could definitely, with additional work, show tone as well.
Great work on the presentation. That was super cool to see. My question is, so the theme of the hackathon is to solve world's problems. So what problem are we solving here?
Well, you know, they say make the world better just bit by bit. So we took a bit of a niche problem in hand, which is just hearing impaired people's challenges. That's our main problem here. We're focusing on making music accessible to everyone. Right now, music is, especially classical music, is not very accessible often. People don't understand why it's nice. People can't connect with it. They can't emote with it. So this is meant to help everyone, anyone, people least likely to relate to music, to connect to music through visual standpoints. That's the idea.
Okay. All right. Well, in the interest of time, thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Next up is called High Time AI Prompt Generator. Do we have that team here? All right, excellent. You're next. And you're gonna have you walk around to the stage. Yeah, maybe if you could go around the other side. Were you able to submit via dev post?
Because Karen would like to add it to the description of the project.
You want me to extend it to like 3:30 or something?
Not in written, but in definitely. Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
Right, I guess while this loads, right. Cool. Hi everyone, I'm Sabudha. That's Siam. So both of us over the weekend built hightime.ai. So we pitched on Friday night. To give you a recap, people try prompt engineering, and prompt engineering is hard. It's because it's non-deterministic. So we thought, why are humans spending time trying to figure out the best prompt, going into the rabbit hole? They see some cases working really well. They give it to the user, things start failing. They go back to the prompt and make it better, and then something else starts failing. So reliability is a big issue with prompt engineering, and we thought, why not give a bunch of data to machines and let machines figure out the style that users like, and then based on that, develop a prompt, include a bunch of techniques that's out there based on like popular research papers, and then figure out the best response and give it back to the user. So that's what we built. Let's go ahead and take a quick example. So here, what you see is you put your API keys, you give it a Jinja 2 prompt template, and you give it some queries. So in this case, it's 2 test cases. So let's take an example. So that's the API key. Now let's say it's travel season, and I tell it, you are travel GPT. Your job is to answer travel questions based on the user query. And this is the user query I give it. And then I can give it a couple of test cases. So the first one, let's say, how far is San Francisco from San Jose? And then I can give it one other test case, which is, what's the best month to visit Miami? And then we'll go ahead and run the test. So what's happening in the backend now is the platform is figuring out different variations of the prompt, applying different techniques, and then figuring out and calling the LLMs, in this case OpenAI, and then figuring out what responses make the most sense. So here I see 3 different variations of responses for each test case. So now as a developer, what I can do is, for anything that's distance related, I can say I like this response. So I'll just click on it and give it a thumbs up. And for some question which is more kind of subjective, I can give it a more descriptive answer. So in this case, I'll click on this, give it a thumbs up. And finally, once I'm done, go ahead and click on rate responses. So Now I can, once I do this gets deployed, and I get a code with which I can kind of use it in any LLM apps. And I'll quickly go over what the user sees from their side now. So let's clear this. And so this is from the user side. Let's just pick a random query. Say, what's the distance from San Jose to, let's say, Santa Cruz? Awesome, so nothing failed in the demo. So as you can see, for distance type of questions, it gave me a more direct answer. So I can just go ahead and I already get a JSON, so I can just read the keys and then just show it to the user. And the idea here is over time, we learn more of these type of responses. And over time, we can like personalize your prompts. So you don't have to go and do prompt engineering over and over again. Yeah, and if you have any questions or you face this difficulty yourself, you can go to hightime.ai, put your email there, and we actually want to start onboarding people this week. So happy to like chat and see how we can help. Thank you.
That's great presentation. My question is this basically prompt chaining with Euclidean distances? So are you essentially doing like, there is a prompt template and you're chaining that with the actual, can you go back to ARC?
Here?
Yeah. So are you just doing like prompt chaining with prompt template and then user query? Are those two going to form one prompt in ChatGPT?
So, just making sure I understand the question correctly. So usually how the prompt templates work is you give it a query like this, and then when I say user query, the query that I gave here, this gets replaced and put here.
Okay, so this is the same if I go to ChatGPT and write this and then followed by user query.
So it's basically your travel GPT, your job is to answer the travel question based on the user query, and the user query is how far is San Francisco from San Jose.
I see.
But how do you get 3 different responses from that? Are you sending the same thing 3 different times to ChatGPT, or are you sending different prompts to ChatGPT each time?
Different prompts. So there are techniques like chain of thought, tree of thought, and some other techniques that we tried. And then based on that, we give out like different variations and then give it back to the developer to kind of learn what their style is.
Yeah, because here I'm seeing the responses, but I'm not seeing the prompts that it's sending.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be cool to see the prompts as well, so we can see how different or similar the prompts are.
Sure.
So do you only support OpenAI, and is there are you going to allow a user to maybe pick which model they want to use?
Yeah, so just for the hackathon, we picked OpenAI, but we want to also integrate with Palm API and Anthropic Claude, and maybe some open source models if you want to try those as well.
So 2 questions. What issue is this solving? And how does this relate to the theme? Because it seems very narrow with its use cases.
Yeah, so high-level prompt engineering is a big problem. I can give you an example, which is, let's say you're writing an email, a marketing email, and you give it an existing email and you want ChatGPT to give you a response, right? Now, for some emails, ChatGPT does very good, but for some other emails, it gives you a very short response. So then you go back to your prompt and you said, don't give me a concise email, make it longer. Now what happens is for the other cases that it was working well, now it gives a very long email. So now you're stuck, like what do you do? So with this, what we are saying is we learn the style, like based on the input email, we figure out if emails are like this, then you prefer a more concise email, whereas if emails are some other style, you want a longer email. So
it learns the pragmatics of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And your other question, like how does it help?
How does it align with the theme?
Yeah, so I think prompt engineering, first of all, takes up a long time from developers' productivity. So that's one. And because of that, over the last 6 months, we have seen a lot of really cool demos with LLMs, but haven't really seen like production-ready, reliable apps. So it's helping solve people go from demos to production quicker in a more reliable fashion.
So what I got out of this is two things, two pieces, personalization and productivity.
Yeah.
Right, personalizes to what they want to write, as well as productivity of getting things launched faster.
Yeah, faster and reliable, yeah.
Yep, cool.
Thank you.
Just one more question. So by personalization, do we mean that if I continue to ask prompts for, in one segment, will it learn how what I want to work on, or my niche or something?
So I think you're referring to user-specific personalization. We have plans for that in the future, but right now it's just developer-focused personalization. But we also want to target that segment, which is after you do like developer-specific, you also want to go customer-specific. Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's it. Let's give High Time AI a round of applause. And next is called Skip to a Human. So do we have that team here? Skip to a Human.
All right. Hi everyone. I'm Madhur, and that's my team. So she's Pranati, Chaitra, and Satya, and we are Skip to Human. So, quick question to everyone. In last week or two, have you guys talked to a bank, insurance provider, dentist, or flight reservation?
Yes.
Yeah. And how much time do you think you guys have spent approximately?
Too much.
Too much? Yeah, that's what I was expecting. So who loves talking to these automated, phone calls before getting to a human? Okay. All right. So yeah, who loves talking to these IVR, as they call it, interactive voice responses, before getting to a human? Nobody, right? So I mean, that's our problem too, and we said, why not turn the tables? Let's go directly for a demo. Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen.
That's good.
Time. Okay. All right, so that's our landing page, and So let's say you want to talk to, I don't know, maybe JetBlue. So I'll put the number to JetBlue. The number 53853. Yeah. And then you select the reason. So let's say I want to call for my reservation. Like bunch of reasons you might want to call a provider. And then I click go. And I skip to this window. So here it says calling that number for assistance with reservations. And the text is too tiny. There's
Command plus.
Can you zoom it in?
Yeah.
Control plus.
Alright, I mean, I don't know if it's not visible.
I think you guys can see it, right? So what they're saying is actually onto text here.
I don't know if you guys can hear, but I'm already on a call with JetBlue right now, and it's trying to connect me to a human. So I wish I could zoom it. Let me try doing it.
So you guys can see that how long it takes to connect to a human. Yeah.
Especially in healthcare, it takes like 30 minutes to get to a live agent. So this basically takes that heavy lifting and then helps you to connect to a human, and you can do your activity in parallel while that is happening.
And get notified, right? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I guess let me just open the video. That more legible?
Yeah.
So what it's basically doing is it's in real time, it's trying to transcribe the audio that it's hearing from the IVR, feeding that into an LLM. The LLM responds which DTMF tone to be sent, which is basically which number to press. So that number is being pressed through Twilio API. So if you see this command, so it says send DTMF tone 2, which means press number 2. It does that, and then it waits for another response, and then takes the next step, so on and so forth, and then it eventually connects you to a human, and then you should be able to directly talk to a human. So it says please continue to hold for a representative. So that's the last step, and it might like just continue waiting for 20 minutes because there was a 20-minute wait. That's all. Going back to the slides. You can skip over this now unless there are questions. And yeah, for the next steps, we would like to improve the sound quality, because right now the quality was really bad. The reason being the audio that we get from Twilio is mu-law encoded. We want to like decode that and feed it into the speakers. We would want to detect a custom model to detect a human on the other line, because right now we don't have that in place. And eventually also have the user to provide a callback number, so that once a human is connected, like the system will automatically call back to the human, so the human does not have to listen to all the trash. And yeah, I guess so things this might make world a better place.
Wait, there's a button.
Good presentation. I think like this is extremely useful, because like personally, yeah, I really hate like waiting on a phone, because like the music that they like have you listen to like always sucks. So yeah, I just really hate that. So yeah, I think I agree that this does make the world a better place. I'm just my question is about like scalability. So you mentioned like you were calling JetBlue, like what, like are you limited to the kind of company that you can like apply this to, or is it just basically any company that allows you to kind of wait?
So any 1800 number or 1888 number, so any toll-free number most likely, but again, even if it's a paid number, that should be okay. Like, the customer might have to pay for this service, but in exchange he's saving time. So.
My other question is that sometimes they ask for like multiple steps. So for like healthcare companies, it could be like press 1 for like your heart, or like press 2 for like blah blah. Like, is there a way for like the user to say, hey, this is exactly what I want to do, and have like feedback, as opposed to just like one thing where they just kind of like could there be like constant flow, or like is it like how flexible is it?
Right. So right now we are just accepting like one user input, which tells what's the eventual department they want to be connected with, just to make it simple. But definitely, we can add more options, or we can even have human manually define that flow in the beginning, give the full context into it, and then have the system handle it on their behalf. And we can create these flows, right? Like there are a lot of popular providers, so we can create these flows for all these providers. Like eventually we can keep adding more and more providers to the service.
So 2 questions, assuming you, testing. There you go. So assuming you can keep adding more providers, JetBlue, you name it, etc.
Yeah.
How many calls can your platform hold simultaneously?
I don't think there's a limit. I mean, we are built on top of Twilio, so Twilio is meant for calling. Yeah.
And then more importantly, what's the precision of getting to a human or skipping to a human? In other words, for every 10 calls, for example, how many times do you actually get to a human rather than not?
So in our limited, 1 day time, we have tried a few providers. We could get to it like 80% of the time. And I mean, one thing to highlight is we are using GPT-4 in production. We might want to move to a low-cost model like GPT 3.5 or something. But with some fine-tuning, I think we can get to a pretty good precision. And if we have these flows already defined, it's kind of helping the model to an extent to push it in the right direction, right? So I think we can get to a pretty good precision.
Good.
Yeah, great presentation. Totally, I can see how it makes the world a better place.
Yeah.
I also like how you remember JetBlue's number by heart.
Yeah. I mean, I had it in the suggestions. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So one thing is, do you know about this feature called Hold for Me in Google Pixel?
Hold for me. I haven't used it.
So what it does is basically,
Android user. Sorry.
Okay. So what it does is basically whenever you're talking to an IVR, it kind of holds for you, and so you don't have to like listen to their music, and it gives you a notification whenever there's an actual human there.
I see.
So maybe you can, if you decide to scale it up, maybe you can partner with them or somehow integrate that functionality into this.
Sure. Yeah. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, adding to that, there are companies who basically say, hey, our queue is busy, you give your number and we'll call you back. But only 10% of companies that I face really do that actually. I think there is 90% chances that most of the customer service centers never do that. So I think that adds to it.
All right, thank you. Let's give them a round of applause.
Next up, we have Agua8. Are they here?
Yeah, I'm just going to use the Excel, so whatever. If you want to see the secret order, I added all the team names to the spreadsheet under mine, so that you have all the team names.
Hi.
Take it out of the stand. There you go.
Hi, we're high schoolers. This is our first hackathon. My name is Arnav. This is Rahul, and this is Rohan, and this is our app Agua8. So at our school, there are many cases of kids fainting due to lack of hydration. Our school's very competitive, and I don't know, just a lot of kids forget. So we thought of we try to make an app that could help kids or just anyone of any age to help track how much water they take, because water is a very important thing. Hydration is important, and we just think it would be good for the world and just good for people in general. So we've made a little video just of our app, how we built it, how we thought of it, and yeah, we're just gonna play it.
Today, we will be talking about why we built our app, how we were introduced to the idea, how it works, and our next steps. First, let's see the science behind dehydration.
If we don't drink enough water, then we will get dehydrated. During dehydration, our brain works harder than normal. It informs kidneys to retain moisture, thus producing darker concentrated urine. It reduces the production of saliva, causing dry mouth. Lack of water also causes our brain tissues to shrink. We get headaches and feel nauseous. Our energy levels drop and our skin becomes dry. Besides this, chronic dehydration can lead to severe health problems and even death.
75% of adult Americans are chronically dehydrated. More than 50% of adolescents in the US are dehydrated, and over 500,000 people are hospitalized in the US each year for dehydration. About 10,000 of those who are admitted to the hospital for dehydration each year die there.
Now it's time for a demo. When you open the app after a workout, you'll be greeted with a home screen. In the main screen, you'll see an icon, a water icon, and a bar graph. The bar graph will show you how much water you drank on a daily, monthly, and yearly basis. The green and red buttons to the side of the water droplet add and subtract water. When you add water, the icon in the middle will change based on how many cups of water you drank. The red one will cause the icon to go back.
Our next steps for this app are to add more detailed trackers, register in the App Store, socialize the app, and help more kids with hydration. To end it off, we would like to say a quote by Thomas Fuller. We never know the worth of water till the well is dry. Thank you for listening. Stay hydrated.
All right, yeah, thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah. So at the beginning of your YouTube video, you had a cartoon talking about dehydration. How did you make that cartoon, or what's the story behind it?
We, in these 3 days, we didn't have time to animate that, so we just found an explanation video off like YouTube just to explain it, because I feel like us talking would be a little more boring, and cartoons are fun for all ages.
Yeah, that was a great video. So my question is, how much of this work did you do in the weekend, or was this something that you were pursuing from before?
We actually thought of this idea like Friday during the hackathon, so we worked Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to make this and edit the video through Saturday and Sunday.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. How does the end product looks like? Is it like an Android app?
It's currently an iOS app, so we don't have it on the App Store yet, but we have uploaded it into an iPhone, as you can see in the video, and through that you can just use it, I guess.
Okay, so I can like check, okay, today I drank like...
Yeah, you drank so and so amount of water, and you can check how much you drank on like a monthly basis and yearly basis too, and it'll just show your averages, I guess. Yeah.
Got it. And can I integrate this? I mean, not now, I guess, but probably I can integrate this with Fitbit or my iOS, like iWatch or whatever.
That's what we're planning to do. We're planning to try and get it on more devices, especially ones that can track health easier. So yeah.
Yeah, good job. I think this really stuck to the theme. So yeah, that was great. My question is that like, if you don't drink enough water, does it like notify you and like say, hey, drink water, or like is there any like feedback?
So that's something we're trying to push for. So notifications. So like, let's say you didn't reach your daily water goal, or just for over a long period of time, you've been missing your goals constantly. We're planning to let it make sure it like reminds you, or just in the notifications, or just in some form. Yeah.
And like, how would you know how much water like a person should drink a day? Like, is it like based on age? Like how
So
physically
we
active they are?
have something in there that currently bases off weight, but we're gonna make it off age, height, gender, the place you live in, how much you work out, stuff like that. So it's more exact and more like specified for that user.
Cool. And who's like your main target audience for this?
Just I guess people across the U.S., but like especially kids in our school, or like just of our age range, so adolescents, because again, there are a lot of people at our school fainting from lack of hydration, so we're just trying to help with that.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
Especially within 3 days.
Yeah.
Where do you see this going in the next year or two?
So we would just want to, get this out for more kids. Just we want them to be like, we want them to notice like hydration more, just get to know it better and understand how much they need it. So we're trying to take this app, make it go further, and make it like make more people know about it, I guess. So like people in our school, people outside of schools, just in general.
How many people would you want to have downloaded this app and used it about a year or two from now?
Hopefully we can get like at least the majority of our school. That's what we're currently aiming for. So maybe like 800 or so people at the moment. But if we can, continue improving it, make it more user friendly, give it more like, improvements, I guess. Sure, we can maybe get more.
Cool. Guess. Exciting idea. Maybe focus on athletes.
All right.
And then
yeah.
expand from there.
Okay. Someone from YouTube was asked, because we're live streaming this, so you're also getting questions from the YouTube live comments.
Yeah.
Someone was asking, like, is how much, when you increment it by one, like how much is 1 water?
It's currently 1 cup. It's set at 1 cup. We are gonna make it 2 ounces, so it's a little more easier because most bottles or stuff, they come in ounces, or they'll tell you how many ounces they are. So currently it's in cups because that was the easiest we could do in those 3 days, but it will be ounces eventually. Yeah.
Awesome, thanks. Let's
All
give
right,
him a round of
thank you.
applause. Next up is finger language recognition. Let's see.
Presentation of these guys.
So so far we've done 4 presentations out of 9 entries.
Hi all. So my name is Prashanjit and
I'm Kabiel.
Yeah. So we have done the finger language recognitions. So it will help to do the remote communications. So finger language is not very new stuff. It is there for the last 5-6 years or more than that. So whatever technologies like media pipelines, they have done very good job. So we are just using the technologies and building AI on top of that and just communicate with the ChatGPT. So what is the use for this? So blind, deaf, whoever can't have the touch or they can't communicate with the latest technologies or latest something. So they also can do by the finger language recognitions, they can communicate, they can send the commands, they can communicate with the IoT devices, and we can do lots of stuff. So we are doing the very basic stuff, which can, the starting of the how we can communicate, how we can make the models which can communicate with the remote devices. Also, we found some use cases in the high noise environments where people are working on the aircraft, where the high noise sections or biomedical labs where employees has the very less opportunity to touch and communicate or make remotely can control some devices. So there also you can use the finger language recognitions.
So couple of application that we have tried to do, I think in the future as well, implement in the future with what we have done. So basically right now we're able to communicate with ChatGPT and then Google. So the user or the people with the sign language, they can tell the device to our application, and it will recognize what's the word and what's the sentence, and then be able to send to those. Eventually we will try to have those signals as well as communicating to an IoT device, or even robots that will taking the commands as a signal to do something. As well as like something that's a single remote device that has a multiple things going on, and then they can communicate with our device and send commands. Also, we're trying to have this finger language be able to communicate to like a native language, and then be able to help with the conversation well in the day-to-day basis.
So Google come up with some competitions for last 4 months, and they have uploaded a couple of their very standard data sets. So we also did the same thing. We collected the same data from the Kaggle. And the competition is over, but you can download and you can use the data for a training model. So this model data look like this. The column structure is something like this, and there are 1, 6 to 9 number of columns, and there might so what they did, the media pipelines, they have captured the face, left hand, right hand, pose, everything they have captured for each text or each letters, and this letter can combine a single text or sentences. So it will just look like the datasets, and Yeah, so that's the main thing. So we not interested with the face or other things. So we just interested in the left hand and right hand. So hand informations hand can be pointed out all the different coordinates, and based on coordinates we can see the data sets. We have all the different coordinates for different kind of signs, and by that we can give the training to the ML models, and then models can recognize okay, this is A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, all this stuff.
So yeah, the way we achieve this is we have the media pipeline that track all the fingerprints. So it will map out the lines where the tip and then where's the points for the recommendation recognition. And then after we get all the points, then we can use the TensorFlow ML models to build the single command that how is that this is which letter and what's the meaning of it, and then we are able to extract the meaning and then be able to print out or send this message to another device.
So milestones, we are very basic stage to build the models. So we are planning to complete this one in the August, September, and the next milestone over the year. We are going to train the TensorFlow in the TensorFlow Lite, where it can install in the IoT devices, integrate with the different hardware, or just customize hardware that we can sync the hardware size and how we can put the model over there that we can integrate with the we can use in the real time some users, and you can have some trial. Technologies we use with Kaggle datasets, media pipelines, TensorFlow, the Python. And this is some very basic use cases. We're going to start with the helmets, where you can fit and whoever doing the cyclings or blind, they can put the helmets. And this is very cheaper options. We'll start with this, then we can improve our hardware. That's the plan. Next.
And then a couple of different cases, we can have Google specs. So we have eyeglasses that can be able to interpret what's the meaning of the sign, and then be able to have we as a normal and then be able to, like a regular person, that be able to understand what the sign language by another person or by another device even. But also in some environment that people doesn't really want to talk to another person, that they want to have a signal to another device, and then be able to talk to other people as well. And as well as we mentioned earlier, is the environment that have a high noise, like factory that's very loud, and then people have hard communication to another, and they're able to use this device and then be able to interpret what another person is trying to convey by the sign. As well as another implementation we may have is the human-robot interaction. So there, right now, the robot may able to recognize what's the voice and then be able to interpret it. But another way we can do is by the hand signal, which is much easier if it's just the simple command. As well as for the people who cannot speak, this is an easy way for them to interact with the robot. As well, other part, we may be able to do something with the joystick, without joystick, and then also without keyboard, be able to print out and then be able to do ladder and signs. And any questions? That's our.
Thank you so much.
And then we may have the video.
Okay.
Yes. So basically with this is the left side is what each sign means. What's the letter meaning, and then what's the interpretation. And then here we have the program running, and then we're giving signs, be able to print out those letters. We're interpreting all the coordinates from the points, and then be able to interpret it by our trained models, be able to print out the letters. And then with this, we have one sentence, one word. And then we send this command to Google, then we get the feedback, what's the Google's return, what's the link or whatever. And we do also have this with our GPT that has sending commands and be able to get a GPT response based off what we have typed out. Yeah, right now I think with this we just try out different variations, sending commands to Google. And as you can see, the model right here is kind of interpreting where's the hand and where's the other points, and then what's the letter that need to be printed out. And then once it's confirmed, then we'll type onto the sentence. Questions?
Any questions?
Yeah. My question is, how much of this did you work on this weekend versus how much of this did you do beforehand, maybe for like a Kaggle competition or something?
Kaggle I have seen very late, so we have no preparations before coming to the hackathons. We just did at the day of yesterday, most of the work. Not today also, most of the work we have done in one day.
Cool, awesome, great.
What's the time lag between when the sign is done versus it like detecting the letter? And can that be improved over time?
So right now we actually try to have certain confirmation that this is the letter the user want to interpret, and then we give some like wait time sort of to confirm, like once this is like being there for a couple seconds or millisecond, then we confirm this is the letter that user want to type out. We can also add another signal, maybe like delay the previous letters sort of things. But right now we try to make it more like 100% this is the user want the letter that want to print out. So that's what we are doing, should confirm the letter.
Okay, and my second question is, what are the next steps for the project?
So we'll make the models more fine-tuning, and the performance you can see, can improve the performance. You can see there's something delay, just one day work for us. So we have to spend more time to make it improve and the performance may grow, and we can do it in the TensorFlow Lite so that we can install in the Raspberry Pi. We'll start with the Raspberry Pi or small devices that you don't have to communicate with the cloud without offline also. You can use that devices. That's the main purpose. Outside only the usage is more.
This was a very comprehensive product plan. So well done on that.
Yeah.
Where did the inspiration come from for this project?
Can you repeat again?
Where did the inspiration come from for this project?
Okay, so I saw this project in the Kaggle. I think Google's and all the companies jump in this field, and this field is very growing. But the ChatGPT I can see is growing there. But who are the blind, who are this kind of disability? So they are always be backing off those. So we are growing the technologies, but they are still can't use those technologies. So we are just filling the gap over there, that this people who are disabled not able to find the way to do through the touch or make the communications with this ChatGPT or the booming markets. So the gap can be filled up with this simple stuff.
So following a trend.
Yeah. Helping people.
That's great. That's a lot of progress for just one day of work. So congrats on that. Can you go to slide 11? I understand that this will be useful in Google Class because you can like interpret what someone is saying in real time. But what's this helmet and like what's with children cycling?
So children, this is the first demo or the models we can come up with. There's a very cheaper options like in the helmet. We already have the helmet on top of the camera, and just put some Raspberry Pi over there. And we can give it to some blind or some children or someone's who are cycling or going outside for the hiking, trying to see something, want to communicate with. So this is a cheaper option you can build. And for the demo purpose, the start point, we can do it this. So we don't need the huge hardware expertise, all these things, because we don't have the hardware expertise. So this is, I thought, okay, let's start with this, then you can modify and go over some other parts.
Cool.
Awesome, thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Next up, we have Pothole Patrol. And so my plan is, it looks like we've got 4 more demos. My plan is to just power through them without a break. But if any of the judges need a break, feel free to flag me down and we can take a break. But in the interest of time, I was just going to try to power through it. Also, Apple is doing some finger recognition. If you saw the announcement video for Apple Vision Pro, you're going to be able to control it with your hand movements and finger movements, because it's got cameras pointed at your hands.
All right, we have a very big team. We don't know how our team got this big, but that's what we got. But they're all great. So we have actually our entire presentation put into a video format. So we're just gonna roll the film, and welcome to Pothole Patrol.
We are Pothole Patrol,
And I don't know if we have audio coming out of the laptop, so yeah, you might need to do that. You might need to use your laptop speaker.
We are turning potholes into not holes. Why potholes, you may ask? What's so unique about potholes? Everyone needs to drive to get somewhere, so everyone may encounter potholes when they're going places, and we're all trying to go as many places as we can in our life.
According to the data provided by the city of San Jose, there were more than 1,400 potholes reported through the 311 app in 2022 alone. And according to the AAA Roadside Assistance Report, more than $3 million are paid annually by drivers on pothole-related damages. Our solution to the pothole problem? Develop an app that harnesses the power of the community to help report potholes.
Linus Torvald, the creator of Linux, said this during his TED Talk. But I'm looking at the ground, and I want to fix the potholes that's right in front of me before I fall in. So all in all, even Linus Torvald approves the importance of fixing potholes.
And here's our team: Jacob, Tim, Yubo, Patrick, Shomik, Wayne, Edward, Emily, and Naveen.
As part of the high-level design, we came up with these components: the front-end service, back-end Go-based service, data validation service, which is a ML-based service, Postgres DB to persist the data, social reward service, reporting service, and pothole status service. The following workflows are supported: provisioning to upload the photos by the end user, visualize the potholes in San Jose, get potholes reported by a user within a proximity. Due to time constraints of the hackathon, we scoped it down to few MVP components: the front-end service, back-end Go-based service, Postgres DB data validation ML-based service. Here is the tech stack: Mapbox for the front-end service, Go for the back-end service, JavaScript, Node.js, and PyTorch for ML service, and Postgres DB to persist the data.
So here's a preview of our app, and let's get to the demo.
So we have a 3D map of potholes, and each pothole is represented by one circle, and they vary in size and color based on severity. So if they're larger, they will be more severe. And then, as you can see by this legend, the more red they become, the more severe they are. If you'd like to see a bit more closer to see a specific pothole, you can zoom in and check it out. Or if you'd like to see further out, it turns into more of a heat map. More severe potholes are weighted more heavily, and the density of a certain point affects the intensity and color of the heat map. This effect would be much more pronounced with more data points.
On landing, the main view is the map of all the reported potholes in our Postgres database. We do have a legend at the bottom right indicating the different color values associated with all of the pothole dots. On the right side, we have a sidebar where users are able to input new potholes. Longitude and latitude data are pulled from the browser's geolocation API, but users can manually edit that too as well. They also have a section for uploading their photos. And for the sake of this demo, we do have machine learning on the back end that will validate whether or not potholes are, the images that users upload are in fact potholes. And as you can see, For potholes, we get a response that it's a verified pothole image, and for any photos that don't contain potholes, the response that potholes are not detected. On the back end, these are the two photos we're actually using for this demo. We have one of a regular street with no potholes, as well as an image that does contain a pothole. And this is just a simple post request to the API, and it returns the result from the machine learning. Additionally, on this page, we have a leaderboard, and this shows the most active users on the website as an incentive for users to get out there and track as many potholes as possible. That's our demo. Thank you.
Even with all these features in our application, we are wanting to expand more. Currently, this application only focuses on identifying potholes, but in future iterations of our application, we do want to expand into reporting structural damage, reporting on hike trails, graffiti cleanups, oil spills, and etc. And with this product, we do want to enable our citizens to participate and make their community a better place and contribute to civic tech. With future additions and refinements, we plan on expanding our application to the global market as well and make the world a better place.
So here's where we get our data from, the city of San Jose and Kaggle. Let's keep our potholes filled. Thank you, everyone. Any questions?
Any questions?
That's amazing and totally aligns with the theme of the hackathon as well. My question is, how are we going to deal with false positives? Like, how about I submit a picture of a pothole at some coordinates, but that is not the correct coordinates?
Our machine learning experts.
Oh, not for the coordinates.
Yeah. One of our plans is to make it so you have to have location data on the photos, and then maybe you could look at the metadata of the photo to check to see how close those coordinates are to the posted coordinates. But we didn't have time to scope that in.
Yeah.
And is your client right now a web browser app, or and is there any plans to make it into like a mobile app?
Yeah. Initially, this is just a web app right now, but we thought about the mobile app as well, because it will be a lot easier for people to just upload while they are on a bike or in a car. So that is something we can extend this to as well.
Do you plan on partnering with cities, or is this kind of just a tool for like the everyday person to like know which roads to kind of like not drive through, or I guess who needs this the most?
So the reason why we actually chose San Jose is because they allow their 311 data to be publicly available through their open data portal. There are only 2 cities in Santa Clara County that have that kind of access. And so I think for this project to succeed, we actually do need to push different cities to be more open with their data that they have. The other city being Palo Alto. But anything?
Just want to add on real quick. The basis of the the map geo and stuff, there's actually other website. The civic tech community has like Water the Trees, for example. They actually use the community force to help maintain the trees. So we're using that, and we thought about like maintaining the potholes by reporting. Yeah, so I think this is easily doable, and even just as civic tech, right? It's out there, and people can start posting. And whether or not the government wants to use this data, will be happily to provide the data to them if they find this useful.
From a map standpoint, at least, I think something like the Apple Maps, right? When you go across and you get an alert, right, that there's a cop car or something that way. So it can possibly be that way. Like you can say that it was present there, and then maybe click and say now it's gone, something that way to update things.
But also keep in mind that one of the other features that we had is that people could report their own potholes to this app, and we can, if we get enough users, there could be enough to really cover anywhere.
If Google, Apple, and or Waze came out with competing feature, how would you compete?
Who wants to take that one?
I think
no pressure.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like for us, first of all, I think just open source alone already defeat all of them, right? I don't think they will be open sourcing their data, right? And people can for sure build on top of this, right? And also the map geo and stuff. Like I feel like for me personally, because for example, the water is because I run as the secretary for the code for San Francisco, and this is already out there. And I was just thinking like, with the map data and stuff, it makes it really interactive, right? I think people love seeing the globe and their impact. And for other apps, like you see, like right now we only have data for San Jose. Imagine the whole world using this. It can easily be expandable and start even a global movement, maybe, right? And I think for companies and stuff, people will think about these incentives. But if this is developed, by the community for the community, right? I think there's a larger impact, and we don't have, corporate bureaucracy or anything going on, right? Anyone wants to implement new fixes, just commit to our GitHub, and we'll happily approve them and add it to our functionality.
All right, let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, next up is WoofSec for Woof Security Alert.
Yes.
There's one. Yeah.
Now, yeah, you're good. Yeah, while we're getting set up, hopefully you guys had fun. Hopefully you learned something this weekend, and hopefully you made some friends this weekend.
All right, works fine. Hey everyone, my name is Gaurav. I am a member of Hacker Dojo, and we are building a startup, right? And we sit like right behind this wall. But that's not what I'm talking about today. My hackathon project is something I call WoofSec Alert. It's a fun way to nudge your coworkers, and I just have one partner in my project, which is my 8-month-old puppy Waffle. So the inspiration for this this has been going on in my head for last couple of months. My Amazon account got hijacked 6 times about 2 months ago, and I spent a lot of time with Amazon trying to get back my account. So the whole idea of cybersecurity and that me being so educated about all of these things has been running in my mind for last couple of months. And I'm just a paranoid person at this point of time, honestly. So I started listening to this podcast called The Darknet Diaries. If you guys are into cybercrime, I think this is one of the best podcasts that you can try. And there, the person basically talks about very different types of cyber attacks, as well as like social engineering attacks, or just being lousy about your work computers, and how like fraudsters get use that to make money out of that. So that's kind of how the inspiration struck me. And the third thing is this is an image from behind this wall. This is our co-working space. And this computer belongs to my co-founder. And I often find it this way. Do you know what is wrong? Yeah, there's no one around, and it's not logged, and it has the company's GitHub on there. So I've been thinking about how do I, in a fun way, troll my coworker so that he realizes that he needs to lock it, but also it kind of brings the message home that cybersecurity and like we need to kind of be aware of this from the get-go. So this is where my project comes in. Let me just switch slides. I built this on a no-code tool called Bubble. So it's a very simple app. It's a 2-page app. You come in. If you find your coworker's computer lying around without any passwords or any kind of lock, you just go in, put in the name. Kevin, I'm going to play a prank on you here, if you don't mind.
So you go and you pot troll your coworker. So what it essentially does is throws out a rap. Yo, listen up to the doggy flow. I'm security team's pup, you know. Kevin, my buddy, you gotta wake up. Leaving your computer unlocked is a major slip up. And it just doesn't do that. It's dynamically generated, so I'm basically using like an OpenAI model here. So if you try it again, maybe Kevin, you get one other interesting fun rap here. So I'll let you read through this, but some of these are really, really fun. And I think once the coworker comes to this page, they have to promise to unlock their computer. Technically, they can just open a new tab, but when they do that, it basically takes them to another fun page and says that you can go back to work. So yeah, that's a quick demo, and just maybe 2 more slides on why I think this is important. The first one is, I think this is a very simple way of making enterprises a better place. And the reason why I feel this has to be fun is because of the behavioral elements. I think nudging people for their mistakes is very hard to do. Like talking to my coworker and saying that, hey, you fucked up, like you shouldn't use, you should set passwords, right? So it has to have some element of fun involved in there. And that's where my puppy's idea kind of kicked in. Like we are fundraising right now, and we have Waffle, which is my puppy, in my deck as well. And every time like the slide comes to Waffle, like everybody's kind of smiling in the pitch meetings. So that kind of hit me that I should kind of do something with Waffle in there. And eventually I'm thinking of just adding a bit more fun to it, like memes and GIFs. In terms of features, it will be nice to have like an auto load function where maybe in our enterprise we could set up a Chrome extension by default. And if a computer is unlocked for more than a few minutes, this window automatically opens up. And I could also expand it to other use cases around InfoSec, where nudging people is hard, but you can have this behavioral fun element involved in that. So yeah, that's it. That's Woof Alert for you guys. Thank you. Cool idea. So where do you think you're going to be expanding something like this if you were to take it to market? I mean, this is usable as is today. If you guys want to troll your coworkers, you can easily do that at woofsec-alert, tiny URL woofsec-alert. I am planning to just add these basic features for now, just adding like memes and GIFs and try to make it more humorous, add a virality element to it, and just like make it accessible so that people start using in enterprises to just draw basic attention to small things like leaving your systems unattended.
So I think you mentioned that they can kind of just close the tab. Is there a way to kind of make it more annoying for them?
Yeah, maybe. Actually, maybe not. Like the idea is here to change the behavior, and personally, I would not make it annoying. I would just make it fun. So they would want to read the app and they spend time on that page essentially. Maybe add some kind of a video element to it. So kind of keeps them engaged, but hits the point home.
Cool, thank you. Let's give a round of applause.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, next up we have Pantry.
A thrill to We are thrilled to embrace the profoundly inspiring theme of today's hackathon. We are thrilled to embrace the profoundly inspiring theme of today's hackathon, making the world a better place. As Mahatma Gandhi wisely stated, we are thrilled to embrace the profoundly inspiring theme of today's hackathon, making the world a better place. As Mahatma Gandhi wisely stated, be the change that you would like to see in the world. The change we envision is a return to our roots, to the timeless wisdom ingrained in our DNA over thousands of years. Our ancestors mastered the art of sharing and barter, and this app is a testament to the enduring tradition of compassion and care to survive and thrive. For our team, this transformation begins with something as humble yet powerful as your pantry. The journey toward making the world a better place starts right at home, within the very heart of our daily lives. Pantry is an innovative app that serves as a marketplace for individuals to share their surplus food resources within their local community. We simplify the process of sharing and exchanging resources, making it accessible and efficient for everyone. Our target audience comprises individuals facing the challenge of food surplus, particularly those in rural areas who have access to gardens or seasonal abundance. For instance, during the cherry season, it's common to have an overwhelming surplus that a single family cannot consume entirely. These are the very people who would be eager to share their surplus through donation or exchange. Imagine a student who could greatly benefit from a food donation, a family who owns a kitchen coop and have an abundance of eggs that they would hate to see going to waste, eager to exchange them for an abundance of orange from the neighbors 3 miles away. Pantry bridges these connections and fosters a sense of community, ensuring no food goes to waste and that everyone can enjoy the bounty of their gardens and kitchens.
out, but for now, this is how we're gonna do it. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we do have our grocery list over here, and then we can add more items to our list. If, tomorrow I realize I wanna add broccoli, I could add that over here, and if other people see my food listings on their dashboard, they can go in and see all the food items that I'm looking for so that they can send swap requests accordingly. And then down here is where you would create a new listing for food. You just put in the food name, the description, you could upload an image, and you could go ahead and post it, obviously. So we built this using React for the front end, and then we also use React Router for the routing, and we use CSS for the styling and the structuring. And we connected it to our backend using Express for APIs. And I'm gonna go ahead and let JT continue talking about the backend.
All right, so here we have a rundown of the backend for the pantry application.
I've organized
it into three folders.
Here in the
users folder is where we have our routes for dealing with user data.
We can grab all user data. We can grab a specific user by their ID. And we can also create new users. Under the food post routes, this is where we can grab any food posts made by users. We can grab all the data, or specific one by ID. We can create food posts. We can also delete posts. Lastly, we have our trade requests. And so trade requests are when a buyer is looking to trade with a seller for a piece of food. A trade request is generated along with a status of
accepted or pending or denied, etc. So we can just grab all the trade request data. We can get a specific trade request by ID. We can get all of the trade requests made by a buyer, trade requests made by a certain seller, create trade requests, delete trade requests, and also edit the status of trade requests. Lastly, our backend was built using MySQL and Node and Express for the API.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Do we have any questions from our judges?
So this is geographically based, I'd imagine, right? Because you have to drive to the location. So that would be one limiting. I'm curious how you might overcome these limiting factors, being that it has to kind of be geographically based, as well as food spoils quickly. Not all of it, but a lot of it. So how do you anticipate scaling that? I know it's a tough question.
So in terms of location, right now how we have it set up is, I didn't show you guys the registration page just for time purposes, but we have a registration page where when you sign up for our application, you input your location. We can make it more specific to city or town or some kind of municipality. I don't think I said that right, but
that's good.
So in terms of food spoiling, right now we have it set up where, well, actually we don't currently have anything specifically on our app to limit, how quickly or how soon before an expiration date you could put a listing up. But since we have photos, users can see a photo of the product that they're looking at. If they look a little bit dodgy, it looks like it's close to its expiration date, you wouldn't send in a swap request. But also buyers, or I'm going to use buyers and sellers, but this is not, we don't use money in these, but just for ease, buyers and sellers can communicate and however they wish, and then they can flesh out the details, as in, hey, I just bought this cheese a week ago, the expiration date is in 3 weeks, here's a picture of the expiration date, so just so you know I'm not, lying, and then that way a buyer could go ahead and determine whether or not they want to go ahead with the swap. So while we don't currently have something hard-coded in there, we have an idea of how we would want to go about doing that.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Who's the main target audience for this?
So the main target audience is people who have garden, and usually when you have cherries, they all come at once, and there is not enough mouth usually in the family to get all those cherries at once. So it's nice to be able to share it with someone who's maybe have an orange tree, avocado. So the idea is for people who have gardens, and they have, at one point of time, they have like lots of things that they can handle, and so they exchange or they can also donate.
Can I expand? Another part of our target audience is just general everyday people. For example, I have a really bad habit of going grocery shopping when I'm already hungry, so I might buy way more food than I actually need because, you know, when you're hungry, you want 3 loaves of bread, not 1. So I get home and then I realize, you know what, I actually don't need this much bread, so I can go ahead and put some of my bread up, whole loaf, like 2 loaves of my bread up onto the app. So it would make it so that I wouldn't have to throw it away. I can just give it away to someone that wants it. In exchange for something else, or if I wanted to, I wouldn't have to get anything in return. It would also be really great for people that are not doing as well financially, maybe college students. It would make it easier for them to swap food and maybe be able to save money because, you know, eggs can, for example, can be really expensive in the current market. So maybe if you go on your dashboard, you see someone is giving away eggs, you might be able to source it for in exchange for another food item rather than for $11 for a dozen.
Yeah. So with regards to food spoiling, is there a way to currently know how long a post has been up? So for example, like the bananas, like this person has been trying to trade their bananas for like a week. Is there a way to know that?
Yes. So we currently, I didn't flesh it out on the front end. That was it slipped my mind, but that is something that we would fix. But we would have a date posted, so that way you could see the date that they posted the food. And we do have in our database, the way that we store our post data, we do have a section for date.
In your video, how did you get those like stock videos at the beginning of showing all the people farming and
Canva?
Happy? Okay, cool, awesome.
So we made the video in like 30 minutes, and yeah, that was the result. So.
I have a question. So did you guys think how would the distance play out here? Like if the person who's selling like 2 loaves of bread lives like 5 minutes walk from me, I would probably go get it. But unless like they live, you know, within 5 minutes of walk distance from me, I probably wouldn't bother to go get 2 loaves of bread or 1 pack of bread even.
Oh, like how would we handle that?
Yeah.
If we had time and the intelligence for it on my end, it'd be cool to implement something like, I don't know, like the Google Maps API to calculate the distance between like both parties' locations, and then do something like find like a midway point that would be an equidistance from one another. Or it'd be really cool to populate a database with public places in their area, like between their areas that they can meet up at, and kind of have like a suggestion type thing. That'd be cool to implement.
Cool. And I think you guys are not looking to monetize this. This is more of a community-driven initiative kind of thing.
Yeah, so there's definitely a wide range of like use cases for something like this. Like somebody suggested earlier, like let's look at like a big corporation. They have an event. They have a bunch of like leftover produce from this event. So they could potentially connect with food distributor to low-income communities, and this really has the potential to connect people in a way to where we're reducing waste. I know we're all guilty of it at some point in our lives of like, hey, this went bad, we just throw it in the trash. But if we really think about it, like, that could have fed somebody somewhere at some point in time. So how much are we really wasting here?
So in terms of making sure we're able to support our app, because we do need money to, host it and everything, one thing that we were considering was using .org and getting a government subsidization. I'm not super versed on exactly how that works, but we could run off of donations as well. Or we were also considering a very small membership fee, like $4 a month or something like that. That wouldn't be, crazy unaffordable. And it would also help us support our application and keep it running. So that was one thing we were considering doing.
Awesome, thanks. Let's give a round of applause for Pantry. And next we have EcoScan, who is also our last demo. I liked how in the example photo of bananas, the bananas were already peeled. I have 3 peeled bananas for trade. I'm just kidding about it. It was cool.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Jairo Norio. I am here with Karen, with Phil, and Sarah. We worked in this project called EcoScan. So let's play the video.
I was browsing on Amazon for all sorts of things because almost all the products I buy are sold on Amazon or some other web marketplace. And I was really struggling because I was trying to select a product that was eco-friendly, had a low carbon footprint, utilized less water in its production, and was sourced from some really great raw materials. One product was made from organic cotton from smallholders in Japan, and I thought that was really great. But it took me more than an hour, and having scanned through what must have been like 50 different products to find the product that matched my criteria for what I thought it meant to be eco-friendly. And that's even if it had the information I was looking for. Wouldn't it be great if all the product's carbon footprints, water footprints, and biodiversity impacts were cataloged and seamlessly integrated into my product search experience? Whether that be me searching on a marketplace like Amazon or in the grocery store, walking down the aisle looking for pasta sauce. At EcoScan, we are building a suite of EcoScan tools that would do just that. From a Chrome extension that will embed into my web browser and a search tool and barcode scanner that I can call upon through an app on my phone. Because by knowing my laptop's carbon and water footprints and how they compare to the best and worst case other laptops I might want to buy, or by knowing how many carbon dioxide equivalents my pasta sauce emitted on the farm, in processing, or in transport, I can make a more informed decision and help as much as I can as an individual as the globe comes online in its zero carbon and carbon neutral pledges and broader sustainability goals. Let's take a look at the UI.
In this Figma demo, you can click on the extension button and it will show you the carbon emissions and more details about that product. In the app, once you pass the login screen, you will have the barcode view where you can see the information of this product. You also have the favorites view where you can mark your products that you want as favorite, and you can see what is the scoring method that we are using to give these scores. You also can go to your history to see your previously scanned items, and to the search view where you can manually search. Let's see how the app works. Once you open EcoScan, you will be greeted with a welcome page, and when you click Let's Go, it's going to open the barcode screen where you can point to the product that you want to scan, and the camera will try to find a barcode. And once it finds it, it will show you the carbon information, and it will show you the additional details about how good or bad this item is for the environment. You can also go to the search page and type for the name of an item. And the search is already connected to our database. And we can edit the contents of this database in real time. So in this example, I am looking for a MacBook. I can see what are the MacBooks available in our database. And we're also looking for a Lenovo laptop, and it will show the information of that laptop. And we also have the favorites page and the history page that will be filled with information as you are scanning. So the information of this product is also shown in the Chrome extension. When you're looking for an item in Amazon.com, it will pop up and show you what is the carbon information of it. The app is connected to a real-time database hosted in Airtable, and we have the product names, the companies, and the carbon emissions that this product release when they are created, and we can always edit or delete or modify this information in real time. The internal structure of the project consists of getting external data from government resources and product sheets. Then we run data extractors and add all this information into the EQScan database. From here, we append the EQScan database to our Chrome extension and the web and mobile app so that we can provide all this functionality to the users. The EQScan project has been made by Karen, Sarah, Phil, and me, Jairo. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we recorded the demo, but also we are ready to make a live demo if you want. And one more thing, here's the form for you if you want to show interest. We are recording emails. And also, just for the next 2 hours, you can try it right now.
Awesome. I just have a question. So where are we getting, is there some kind of a centralized database from where we are getting the carbon emission information of the providers?
We were looking around for a lot of different carbon emissions resources. We found a few. We're trying to aggregate from as many resources as possible. I think in the either this year or next year, the government's actually requiring more strict showing of all the carbon emissions for especially tech companies. Yeah, we're also going to use product launches. They love claiming all that stuff now too.
Nice. So if I like a product on Amazon, I can copy the name or something and I can search it on this app. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Yeah, if we have it in the database.
Yeah. Cool. Actually, the link is actually in the database. Oh, sorry. The link is in the database, and the idea is that if you have the Chrome extension, as you're searching on Amazon, it'll automatically pop up. And
yeah, makes sense. Awesome.
Yeah. What's the product roadmap?
Okay, the product roadmap is to build extension, even though we showed you the mockups is not built, and probably open up for crowdsourcing of the data, because right now we found a lot of data, like 800 products and their information, but we probably need thousands or millions of product details. So yeah, we were thinking about how can we open up so that anyone in the world can provide this information from any country, and we can somehow approve or reject according to the sources that they provide.
Yeah, because currently it seems like more of a branding tool. There's not much that you can do with it except for being aware of what the impact is. But then once you know it, do you purchase that more often? Is it maybe top of the funnel and then more likely to buy it?
Yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons we were making it initially, is so as a user, you're just kind of, we wanted it to be at the forefront of saying, oh, I'm on Amazon, and okay, this is there's not as much impact on the environment or whatnot there, so you can make a more conscious decision. And then we could also start seeing trends, as we go farther, start getting more and more data. You can start seeing trends of, okay, so a user saw this, and how did they actually react? Did they see the red and oh, this is bad for the environment. Did they respond, or did they just throw it out? And there's a lot of interesting data that can come out of that.
Yeah, that's powerful. Thanks.
All right, let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
So here's the plan, guys and gals. We are going, the judges are going to meet somewhere and make sure we have, and tally all the scores and stuff. And while we're doing that, I need everyone to help clean up a little bit. So if you could clean up like 1 to 3 things each, then the combined total of all of our efforts would be large. And then afterwards, we'll announce the winners and hand out prizes. But I always hate these things because I always compete and lose, and I hate losing. But don't feel bad if you lose, because it's really hard to judge these kind of things. Yeah.
I like the fun that there for all of us.
Okay, we have the Kaminsky conference room.
Oh, I Yeah, so Slack is one for my.
Oh, yeah, I know, I know.
No one asked us about Yeah, I have actually a friend who. Yeah? Wait, do you So they kind of do the e-commerce now. They started with the same thing. Get stuff and get now. No, like for example, they have this type of thing. They gather all the
Yeah. Is that open source or is that?
No, it's not a VC backed company. It's kind of bootstrapped. I can invite you. No, I do this. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just checked.
Sarah?
Yeah.
Actually, if it's hard to do, just do Hackathon. So, Okay. Let's say it again. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sure, yeah. It is down, and like a simple error, I have not fixed it. Yeah, I don't actually know what's wrong. Maybe my yeah. Will I see it?
Yeah, I think it's okay.
I might
I'll come here a little bit. I'm usually in I've come to some talks up here, but I kind of like wait to see if there's something.
Yeah, these guys.
a lot of the work. I'm going to help with the database that we found really interesting paper on feature. And yeah, they had like 85 current birthdays that they had allocated. So we had so much data there, and then we were trying to get importing it from PDF. PDF.ai, but it's like a paid service for the API. So we ended up doing that. It's just keep outside our side. But I don't think so. I think we're going yeah, I think we had a lot of inspiration from a lot of ideas.
Yeah, we're doing a full fledged version. I've been playing around with this. I had like very basic version of it, and then I just like made it fancy and
Yeah, there's like a whole data science strategy. I just don't know how to process it. I don't know. That's like the most important way.
Shout out to everybody that's watching the live stream. Jacob, Stephanie, Alexander, Zunker, Kerpop, Emily. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, so once if you get a job, you hear Slack. Slack is company Slack, yeah, we have a cyber program that we get a lot of it's not a layoff, just people. I can't really say companies can use this so I got coach Iowa, but I know a lot some of that are coworkers. They actually are like so it's really like I it's just one person. Yeah, there's a hierarchy. You can kind of see it's the only way to know is to ask something. And this is reviews and anything. We have one small they wouldn't know where
So there are a few I actually applied today. Very similar.
Oh, you're doing a literal letter. No one else is you are.
It's like we have Yeah, probably staying out there.
I can see that. I can see It's already the same freaking demo 6 When people know that people pay attention now.
I made an extra growth because I became worried. And I was like just staring at it, debating on and I ended up fixing it. And I was like, I was trying to find a way so when I didn't get my own I gotta just react to it. A lot of paper so I was trying to find a way that I don't know if it'd be like just you just say, hey, what I do is I just copy it. Learning all of the days don't like coding in there. It's also like if I code, I do I get pushing out that and if you want to try it, I want you to give it basically, the algorithm's actually running there's a pro extension where we code give you all the premium and just I would stop translating but these are right now. Yeah. Make sure there's a couple. There's another code knockoff that's that's what I use. Yeah, love that guy. They have like the 55. I would rather say I would rather pay this guy. I've done this for a while. I think stuff that not know what to do. It's like I don't have as much shit. Have ideas, but really the extension here, maybe skincare products,
Yeah, so you guys have to.
You can see the information as I got closer
we have to start going all the way out.
Yeah, the companies aren't required to just start. Maybe the thing is when they have to take say on the environmental impact. So right now more data we get. Expanding the power of data science.
So where do we get this data from?
Right now, this is actually there's a couple of journals that basically dug through marketing to find their data. And so the data set is it's random stuff. It goes from commercial things to industrial. Mercedes, it's all graphics. They don't make it as no, exactly.
Yeah, because it's
all this is just
awesome. Oh my gosh. So it's just right there?
Yeah,
one thing is that I know nothing about
yeah, that's like so the area is like 0.4 or something, and then like this, whatever the maximum we have is like 270 milligrams of carbon. And E is equivalent to
what does that mean? Like if your MacBook is like the numbers, what does that mean?
That is the question. It's like computational street. It's like the actual value like harder than put it together.
Perspective, what we're doing is like averaging what is the consumption of human, the average human over a year and over a day. And so you can compare. For example, if you buy this Mac, it's equivalent to, let's say, 1 month of carbon consumption of the average person. And if you're buying like Coke, maybe it's like 1 day. So you can like compare. Exactly.
If you have looked at everything was on that, I think the other one actually works better than they actually had
I think one thing that one thing I think is just complicated. If I'm at Target, I can scan it and then buy it. I can add it to my like inventory or whatever. And see how much
logging the barcode and stuff would be a little, I mean, doable. Obviously, but the Amazon stuff would be really e-commerce site. Like, I didn't see it in my articles when I see that they did it in person. I think they have to do like a store. And I'm gonna see it.
you can also just have like a button and say I want this, and then store it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just like, you know, yeah, the dial, we want to make it as simple. I mean, output being all of the we're not like too much on the back end yet, but at scale we probably have like data science. So we try to make it like one data point, like actually figuring out the data, because a lot of stuff. They're only going to show you like good stuff. We were like quantizing
Some companies do show you they bury the data very down. It's not PDF.
Yeah.
So it's an image of PDF.
So this is how they do it. I mean, there's some good stuff in there, but it still takes like a presentation. This is like one of the
How you get from?
I'm from Peru.
Oh, you guys are South American. Yes. Yeah. Where do you work? Yes. Oh, we are married. Oh, sorry. That's nice, you guys are together. I have a marketing agency. I have 18 people. The staff is okay, so keep it.
Yeah, if I have to, because what all we do is really like social media marketing, marketing campaign, and that, so it's not really. But if I use I'll say 26 years. Yes. And here about 12 months. It was good. I live in Hawaii. Because my son was the school I'm not good. So my son was going to be going to middle school, and I thought it's the time to get serious. And it needs to be in a good school, so that's where I'm going. But before now, we are looking for Los Angeles. Thank you so much. So I have to start up and I have them get ready. So that's why I come here to it's awesome. Yeah. Because I think sometimes for sure. I think I did my first one in June and I went out. Actually, I was so we did an app for it was AI and it was specifically for men. A lot of men, especially or maybe in general, they don't know how to dress. So basically, the guy can do the day in the evening. So based on the climate, comparing to your location, size, height, everything, that you'll do a little bit. And then it will give you suggestions what you can wear and where you can buy it. And if it's too big or beach house,
I'm pretty good with looking my myself. I'm like, yeah, because you never know. And like, I get into it. I think something is like second time. So that kind of. Yeah, I update my documents something and it really tries to hack it. I update my the North just popped up. That's all the instructions.
If we had one more day,
I do. I'll have to look at it.
I had so Amazon
yeah.
Because I think I suspect I had a manual on my software.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
who's I?
I just like get very paranoid.
I mean, I actually reset the operating system. But this happened after, so I need to.
You tried turning it on.
Every day. So I'm trying to find it.
If it doesn't work, I turn it off like that. I install it once, maybe back to square one. You don't need to do.
Like I have a couple openings.
Are you in or around cybersecurity? I got hacked and I slowly become
Like, what was it that tried to hack you, the malware, and then
yeah, so
how did you get infected?
I got my account back and the hacker got to my account even after I had to hack and everything. So I suspected it was some kind of a malware system which was stealing the keys.
I'm so much you can do.
If someone wants to get in, they're gonna. That's kind of my like partners that's my TLDR learning from it. One line is like if somebody puts their mind to hack you, they will hack you. Yeah. The only things you need to do. Password manager is you have to have a password manager with one really good password. I mean, one password also got hacked, so I just did word and I really like that because they have encrypted notes too. So I was like, hey, this is dope. I got like my obviously a bag attack, but you know, I'll deal with that when I need to. But no, I got hacked once, but really user error on my part. My AWS. My AWS keys got leaked, and all of a sudden they were like, Amazon was like, oh, almost $800. Okay. And they were like, oh, it's okay, you just need to do this one. It's like, I was just experimenting. I was like, oh, how do I do this? You guys,
Nice meeting you guys. Good luck.
What do you do? Right now I'm teaching software.
Yeah. Do it. Are we still printing out certificates though? Are we printing out certificates still?
Yeah, I've been like looking for other jobs. Back at database. Full stack engineer. Yeah, I went to school. Yeah, I went to school.
Let's see what Tiana's doing. If we should wait. What's that? Yeah, I mean, you can. You definitely can.
Anyways, no, I basically saw there, and I was like, oh, this is not me. I really got scared. I've been working in the same company for 40 years. It's like, oh, you've been doing this. And they also like, I was fresh out of college, and I was like, this idea, I don't want to make this more efficient optimization. And I was like, applying for other jobs, and I was like,
It's not like pointed, but it's like
Yeah, I mean, I did like my company. It was like work the space I wanted to go was more entrepreneurial route. So that anyways, and I was just like, the nice thing about software engineering costs very little compared to just already you have to pay for materials. In order to create like software, it's this doesn't really exist outside of software unless they're sponsored. Lockheed Martin say, hey, you know, this free materials. Everybody, I did a bit of CS in college. I didn't really a lot. Once I went to the I didn't get to help the world. The other thing I don't and I try to avoid is I don't want to see that. Now I do, but I try to go outside instead
All right, we're gonna announce the winners. And also, I want to put a disclaimer that picking the winners was actually really, really difficult because we had so many wonderful projects. It's not because you all were terrible, it's because you all were so good. There are some really amazing projects that very easily could have won, but just for whatever reason, when we tallied the votes, they didn't come out on top. So don't feel bad if you didn't win. Like, I hate losing, and so I know what it's like. I've been there. I felt miserable after last hackathon because I was hoping to win. But we also, so we're gonna have a first place through fourth place are gonna win prizes and certificates. We also have some like special honorary mention categories. So for example, we have a category of, and we're live streaming, right? Okay, we're live streaming to YouTube. So for example, we have a special category called Funniest Project, and the winner for that is Woof Security Alerts. So let's give them a round of applause. All right. Yeah, for this one, we don't have a certificate or a prize. We just have yeah, you have the title of Funniest Project. Next, we have the Best Presentation Award, which this goes to Agua8. So let's give them a round of applause. Next, we have the most innovative and creative goes to Synesthesia. So we're going to give them a round of applause. And then we have Best Alignment to help make the world a better place. We have Pantry. So let's give them a round of applause. So let's see, we did 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like I'm missing one, but oh well. Yeah. Okay, we'll give these awards too. Best technical implementation. We're giving it to finger language recognition. And then most likely to like make money in the real world outside of a hackathon, like best product to market, we're giving it to High Time AI prompt generator. And then biggest impact and scalability award is Pothole Patrol. All right. So now we're going to announce in fourth place, after lots and lots of difficult decisions, we have, and you can, when we announce the winners, you can send a representative up to the side and we'll give you your certificate and your prizes. So for fourth place is going to be a sunglasses and a journal. Okay. So that goes to EcoScan. So let's give it up for EcoScan. Oh, should the whole team come up and we get like a photo or something?
Yeah.
That's awkward. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
All right, in third place, we have a project that everyone here wants to use themselves. It's Skip to a Human. And they're gonna take home a journal, some really cool sunglasses, and also a phone holder that goes in your car and plugs into the CD slot that you don't use anymore. Okay, so let's give them another round of applause. And then John's gonna take a photo. All right. In second place, we got finger language recognition for their impressive machine learning and model training. And I thought it was really cool. And I think, I really like computer vision and stuff like that. Okay, and your fun Hackathon Weekend winners. Let's give it up for Pothole Patrol. This project had everything. It had a rhyme in their presentation. It had good impact on the real world because everybody wants to make the roads better and safer. And it also has like lots of different applications. You could expand it beyond just potholes to other stuff. But they're taking home a journal, some cool sunglasses, like aviator style sunglasses, and a phone holder for your car, and a portable battery pack that has like a little solar charger in it.
Who wants to hold this? Wow, it's a big group. 1, 2, 3. A little more excitement, guys. Got it.
All right, let's give a round of applause.
Emily.
Emily had to take off. All right. Cool. Well, yeah, this was super fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you made some new friends. I hope you got some good technical programming experience and product design experience. And yeah, hopefully we can do this again sometime. Hopefully we get, help me plan the next one, because it's a lot of work to plan this and schedule this and stuff and put it all together. So the dojo definitely needs more volunteers to host events and things like that. But that's it for me. So thanks for being good attendees, and thanks for keeping the place clean and tidy, and thank you to all the other judges and co-hosts. Do the judges have anything they want to say?
Everyone, please give it up for Kevin. That's all I have to say.
Aw, thanks, Ash. All right, that's it. Have a great night.
Everyone loves impossible. I didn't know they had any.
I knew there was like colleges that
Yeah, I see.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. I guess, for those that are coding stuff, they want to look to get inspired to keep going on it. Yeah, probably at least on the GitHub. I don't know how Slack kind of goes away after a while. I'll throw like notes and stuff, for learning notes
You mind if I add on it? Yeah, so we're all the capacity, like hundreds of records in the yeah, the free ones. See what I'm saying? And then you got the premium, so at that point you would want to migrate.
Oh, I don't have. You guys should get like the knowledge.
Hey, everybody! I have one last quick announcement. John wants us to take a group photo of everyone. So in the back near the tigers. So if you could all line up, we'll do one big group photo, and we'll try not to take too long, and it'll be fun. So if you participated in the hackathon or you're a friend of the hackathon, you can be in the group photo.
It's definitely not my style. I actually wouldn't wear it.
Also, thank you to Tiana and John and Eric and the rest of the Hacker Dojo staff who were super helpful throughout the weekend. So thanks, Tiana.
Thanks so much for your help.
Aqui você faz às 8 da noite às 6 da manhã.
Yeah, thank you for bringing the boxes.
Oh yeah.
You need some help with bringing this to your car?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad we got so much of our text at work. That's like,
I was gonna use this for live demo, but we didn't have time.
yeah, no. Thank you so much. Questions don't seem like it's supposed to happen, but like, oh my
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye.